Hello and hashtag, and right here we're going to tell you what the grapevine is saying, especially on X. And it's always a pleasure to have you join me. I was just going to get right to it, but first I remembered I had to introduce myself and also welcome. Good to have you join me. And if you're just coming, if this is your first time joining us on hashtag, then I say you are welcome aboard. My name is Vivian Oguche, and if you're game, let's get this show on the road. So we begin with hashtag Port Harcourt. You do know that just yesterday, President Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. Rivers State now has a sole administrator. And for the first time on X, I could find no other story but this one. So you have hashtag Port Harcourt, hashtag Abati, hashtag National Assembly, hashtag Attorney General, and they are all of a state of emergency in Rivers State. So we are just going to take it one step at a time, one hashtag after the other. I promise. Take a look at the tweets, hashtag. Now, one of the videos on this particular hashtag, you'll find actress Hilda Dokubo venting. That's just the word I can find. On the side of the people of Rivers State, she's on the side of the governor. She's saying that you guys, we've been living very peacefully in this state. This thing that's just happened is not to our benefit. You know, let me not talk too much on this. Let me let you hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's take a look at what people are saying. So,
they have decided to...
No, before that, let's take a look at the tweets first and then we'll do the video. This particular one comes at the end of it. This is not even the beginning. So Chuk says, they are quoting a Dokubo. What's currently going on in Rivers State is not simple. Rivers State is a combat for the economic soul of Rivers State. For 24 years, they kept milking Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Now
you have crippled people. What for? Because of one man? I will say it over and over and over. What's going on in Rivers State is not similar in Mubarak. What's going on in Rivers State is a combat for the economic soul of Rivers State. Somebody wants to grab the economic soul of Rivers State. The soul of Rivers State, for 24 years, they kept milking us. That was how our money was flying all over our heads. It is here today, it is there tomorrow. It is funding all kinds of foolishness. This is the first time that civil servants have been paid the 13 months. Every Christmas for 2 years, civil servants get paid. Civil servants. You say go and resubmit a budget. With me, a befitting place that you want, so that I can present this budget. You made it impossible. Coming to you, you locked him out. Him as reply. That's and then the next thing you do is this.
So, did you catch Hilda Dokubo saying in Rivers State, in Port Harcourt, really, all you hear now is wing, wing, wing? I'm sure she was referring to the siren of all the armored tanks and military vehicles and all of that that's been rolled into the state. But then again, we have more tweets and more videos regards this particular one. Let's take a look, shall we? So, Port Harcourt people says, state of emergency. Dear Port Harcourt people, those outside our beautiful city want instigate you to fight and destroy our city. They don't love you, they just want to be entertained on social media. We will fail them. More of Port Harcourt there with his wins out when lives are on the line. You do remember that our former president Jonathan was also accused of being weak? Well, let's not toe that line tonight. We have more tweets. Let's take a look at them. Jamal of Port Harcourt again says, photos of the ongoing reconstruction of the Rivers State House of Assembly hallowed chambers, which they claimed Governor Sim Fubara refused to rebuild. This injustice will not be sustained. You do remember that this was one of the sins that was held against him yesterday for according to Jamal of the reconstruction going on. Shall we? So, last but not least, this is the tweet that precedes the video. Administrator now, Rivers State. Port Harcourt Social says, Akwa Ibom lady renames street of Port Harcourt because her brother is now in Rivers. Just listen to the new street names. Take a listen.
They have decided to give Akwa Ibom man to rule us in Rivers State. Now I'm at Akwa Ibom here, where I be. Now I want to rename this community. This is Elephant community. It's now Ikoriyang. This is Ikoriyang. Now, coming from like this, now, this is a very road. Now, then now, going like this. Now it's no more as this is road. SBS. It's no longer SBS, it's called, it's all to dominate. Yeah. It's no longer Alibaba, it's now Ikoriyang.
Are you kidding me? Ikoriyang. Oh my gosh, that was on a lighter note though. You see the thing about Nigerians, they are always able to find fun even in the most dire of situations. It's no wonder they used to call Nigerians the happiest people on earth. But then that wraps it up for us on that particular hashtag. Hashtag Abati is next. You do know the on-air personality Reuben Abati. He is trending like mad on air today on a popular morning show, and he came rather that President Tinubu has committed an impeachable offense, and he was wondering if the National Assembly will be courageous in he's driving out. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk too much. I'll just let you hear from the horse's mouth. It's always and then the video. So, Spotlight Abi says, what Tinubu has done is an impeachable offense, but I don't know if the National Assembly will have the guts to reject this bias. This is attributed to Reuben Abati. Let's take a look at that video now.
Constitution says that, look, when there is a state of emergency, it's only the National Assembly that can make laws. House of Assembly. Now, President Tinubu has appropriated unto himself the powers to make laws Assembly. That's an impeachable offense. I don't know whether the National Assembly will have the courage either to reject or to proceed impeachment against him for violating the Constitution. Now, the other relevant portion of the Constitution is Section 188. Section 188 of the Constitution spells out how a governor can be removed from office. A governor cannot be removed from office by the proclamation of the President of Nigeria. It can only be removed if there is gross misconduct, as put.
That is Reuben Abati laying the groundwork for some very controversial comments, I'm telling you, that might be coming from the APC and the presidency. Reno Mokri is already, how will I say it, firing a salvo at Reuben Abati. In fact, he's discontinuing everything Abati said. In a short while, you're going to be taking a look at that particular tweet. So let's go back and find out what people are saying as regards the declaration of emergency in Rivers State. So, Imran Muhammad says, Reuben Abati, President Tinubu has appropriated to himself the powers to make laws for the Rivers State House of Assembly, which is an impeachable offense. I don't know whether the National Assembly has the courage to either reject his proclamation or proceed with the issue of impeachment against him. Do you think this is ever going to happen? I'd like for you to let me know. Just drop a comment in YouTube comment section. I'll appreciate it. Section, yeah. Let's move on now, shall we? Daily Post Nigeria says Dr. Reuben Abati, a veteran journalist and former senior advisor on media and publicity to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, on Wednesday said that President Bola Tinubu has committed impeachable offense. More? Nigeria says President Tinubu has appropriated unto himself the powers to make laws for the Rivers State House of Assembly. That's an impeachable offense, and that is coming from Reuben Abati. Garu says if there is unrest and instability in Nigeria, will Tinubu declare a state of emergency, step down and allow the military to take over the country? Dr. Reuben Abati. That's a billion-dollar question if you ask me. Well, let's move on. Asked that President Bola Tinubu be impeached by the National Assembly for declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State. That same National Assembly gave the president the power to suspend a governor via the Emergency Powers, Repeal and Reenactment Bill of 2018. However, it is impossible that people like Dr. Reuben Abati are either unaware of that law, perhaps think it is unconstitutional, or even have a different interpretation of the law, which is understandable and acceptable. In that situation, what a prudent man should say is that the suspended governor and members of the suspended House of Assembly should go to court to seek a judicial interpretation of the law. And then he goes on to really say some more. But that's why we will call it wraps for now, though. So like we always say, it looks like it is different strokes for different folks. It is for and against. But it looks like much more people are against the declaration of state of emergency than those that are for it, like you will see as the show unfolds. So we move on to the next hashtag, which is hashtag Attorney General. So Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General of Nigeria, today had a say, right? He gave his 2 cents regarding this whole matter of a state of emergency in Rivers State. So we'll go online to find out what Nigerians are saying about the Attorney General. This is the first time I'm actually hearing him speak, and people have very strong reactions to his comments regarding this matter. Let's find out. So Theo Abu says, he's quoting Lateef Fagbemi, of course, "We saved Fubara from being impeached." Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi. He is yet to mention the part of the Constitution that empowers the president to suspend an elected, sub-national government officials. That is coming from Theo Abu. And then he put up this video of the Attorney General. Take a listen.
I think yesterday there was a notice of impeachment from the House of Assembly. If that impeachment had been allowed to take its full course, then the governor would have lost entirely and completely. So in a way, if you say it's a compromise, I will agree that instead of allowing the impeachment process to continue, and which in the end would have seen both the governor and the deputy governor out of office and mean out for the entirety of the 4-year term, with the remainder of what we have. We have 1 year, I think about 9 months now. Some other things may come in. But for now, well, maybe it's a compromise. I will agree.
All right, so if it's true, guys, that's a very weighty statement that the Attorney General, that they probably had saved Sim Fubara from being impeached. You didn't know that just before the declaration of a state of emergency, the lawmakers, pro-Wike lawmakers, actually 27 of them, had filed, gross misconduct allegations, really, against the governor and his deputy. So, do you think he might have been impeached? Do you think that what the Attorney General is saying is actually true? If it is, then probably what some people are saying is that President Tinubu is the real Maradona. You know who has another how will I say it? Another person that is called that way in Nigeria is former military ruler Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. They used to call him Maradona, but it looks like he has a competitor. Well, we have more tweets. Let's take a look at them, shall we? All right. Arise News says Gov. Fubara had long anticipated a possible impeachment. He knew the House of Assembly was crucial to that process, which is why he dismantled it. 14 months later, there has been no effort to rebuild it. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. But we saw some pictures coming from Port Harcourt of a reconstruction of the State House of Assembly in Rivers State. Well, let's move on to other tweets, shall we? Oseni Rufai, also an on-air personality, says, "My very dear Egbon, the Attorney General of the Federation is finding it difficult to defend President Tinubu's state of emergency. He can't even state that the president was biased from day one in the Rivers matter." That is Rufai taking sides blatantly. Let's move on now. All right. Temitope Ajayi says, "We had a sit down with the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, before his press briefing with the State House Press Corps on the unfolding situation in Rivers State." Okay, apparently that was before he made that statement you just listened to. I think that wraps it up for us on this particular tweet. Yep, I think so. We move on now to the next hashtag, which is hashtag National Assembly. So people are saying that before you go on to declare a state of emergency, the National Assembly must have given you express approval. And some people are pointing accusing fingers at the president to say that he didn't get that. So they are saying what he did is probably improper. Well, not to say much about it, we'll go straight online to find out what Nigerians are saying in this regard. Let's go. So, Peter Obi, first, Niger says, "I appeal to the National Assembly and all stakeholders not to allow the state of emergency in Rivers to stand." And they are quoting Peter Obi. So you see a picture of Peter Obi, Sim Fubara in the middle, smack dab, and President Tinubu looking very serious there. Let's move on to the next one. The Cruise TV says, "Without the National Assembly's approval, Tinubu's state of emergency declaration in Rivers State is not backed by the Constitution. Timi Agbaje shines light on Section 305. They put up this video. Take a listen.
Many things are happening around the rivers of Babylon. Invasion, demolition, confusion, explosion, suspension, now constitution. What does the law say? Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution. If the country is at war or invasion, if there is breakdown of public order and safety, or there is danger of public order and safety, the president may proclaim a state of emergency and publish in the official gazette. However, this proclamation must be supported by a 2/3 majority resolution of the houses of the National Assembly within 2 days if they are in session, or within 10 days if they are not in session. Can the president legally suspend a democratically elected governor? Section 11(3), Emergency Power Act of 2018 says the president may, with the approval of National Assembly.
All right. So that is Timi Agbaje. And in case you're wondering, does he even know what he's talking about? Yes, he does. He is a lawyer as well as a content creator. So he gave us his 2 cents. Let's move on now to the next tweet, shall we? Yeah. Nigerian Association asks National Assembly to reject Tinubu's state of emergency in Rivers State. That is coming from Instablog Niger. Let's move on. Imboya Media says, President Tinubu has appropriated unto himself the power to make laws for the Rivers State House of Assembly. An impeachment offense. I don't know whether the National Assembly will have the courage to reject it or proceed with impeachment. Yeah, there's a typo there. Well, they are quoting Reuben Abati. Let's move on now. You guys, wait for this one. Dr. Olukemi Olunloyo, very controversial personality, I can tell you. So she says opinion. Clearly, President Tinubu violated the Constitution. The National Assembly will never impeach him, and this can lead to a revolution stemming from the state. I warned you a day before a military coup. Focus on all my cryptic posts. I'm a retired journalist, now with a knowledge bank you can tap into. And then she put up this video. Take a listen.
Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, retired journalist, Kemi Talks Media. President Tinubu, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has deployed the military to Rivers State's government house to take charge. This is not in the Constitution. He said he invoked Section 305, and this state was not in a state of emergency. I did a video in October and November, and I told the Rivers people to take charge of their state when this thing was brewing. People, rise, rise, rise. You cannot have a military coup in a democratic government. The president shall have the power to issue state of emergency when the federation is at war, is in. You can see what the Constitution say. Was Rivers at war or imminent danger? They were only protecting their oil wells. That's all we care. And
that is Kemi Olunloyo. You do remember her. If it's Davido, Chioma, or Wizkid, or if it's one celebrity, or if it's a politician, she says it. She doesn't. It's as in it is no holds barred. That's Olunloyo for you. But she said her 2 cents as well. Fingers crossed, this particular matter is not even going anywhere, I'm telling you. And as events continue to unfold, we will keep you posted. So let's just go away from hashtags regarding the state of emergency in Rivers State. Are you with me? Well, hashtag Natasha is up next. So you do know the senator who is accusing the Senate president of sexual harassment. She's actually representing Kogi Central. Something happened today, shocking. There's been a recall process that's ongoing in Kogi State. How did that even happen? What this means is that what we're hearing is her people, her constituents, who voted for her to represent her at the national level, they're saying, okay, we don't want again, come back home. That's what they are saying basically. But there are reports that this whole thing is a sham. That the people who are participating in this exercise do not even know what they're doing. That they were actually deceived into thinking this was an empowerment exercise. They were thinking they were going to be empowered. So, I mean, this whole thing is just the more you look, the less you see, I can tell you. So it's trending online, and let's go to X, find out what people are saying. So, Niger says, efforts to recall Senator Natasha Akpoti-Aduana in Kogi Central have begun, with reports of signatures being collected under the guise of an empowerment program. Let's move on. Dr. Kenan says, Senator Natasha's recall process is currently ongoing. Her enemies are funding the recall process. This is terrible. He put up this video. Let's take a look. So you see co-guides there, actually Senator Natasha's constituents particularly lining up. This is a process that's going to take about 2 days or so. It looks like it's gathering momentum. Let's take a look at more tweets, shall we? Oseni, which one? You do your pick. Oseni Rufai says, like I reported, efforts to recall Senator Natasha has started, but the people are not in support. The recall team is moving with the police. I wonder why. Well, we have more tweets. Let's take a look at them. Trending explains reports from Kogi are suggesting that the people who signed the Natasha recall form were deceived. They were registering for a cash empowerment program. Kogi translation: you people are shameless, selling a daughter for Akpabio. So they are saying this is a Kogi translation. I'm trying to wrap my head around this particular one, but that's coming from Trending Explained. Let's go on now, shall we? Oseni Rufai again says, Kogi people come out to support Senator Natasha. So this is like a rallying call. Rufai, it looks like he's very invested in this matter. You do remember that the senator was actually interviewed by Rufai himself when she appeared on a show, a morning program he hosts. And it looks like, he's a sympathizer. Well, fingers are crossed as this particular matter unfolds. We will keep you posted. We move on now to the next hashtag, shall we? Right. And it is the hashtag last one for today. And it's hashtag super. So it is going to be Rwanda versus Nigeria. And people, guys, it looks like Nigerians are supporting the Super Eagles all over again. There was a time where it looked like if the Super Eagles are going to be playing, people just turn the other cheek, they turn the other way. It's like they are not concerned. But people, including Wizkid, they are saying, it looks like this is the deal. This is what we've been waiting for. So the Super Eagles is trending online. I got a little video of them preparing for the match, the clash. I don't think we can call this a clash of the titans yet, but it is an important one. So let's go online and find out what people are saying about it. So, Super Eagles says, checking in for international duty. All right, let's move on. Puja says, Super Eagles second training in Rwanda. All 23 players are available. Good thing. Let's take a look at this video that Puja put up. A training camp, and they look very, very agile and serious and very well disciplined. You do remember that one of the things people held against them in the past was the fact that there was a lack of discipline in the Super Eagles camp. But it looks like the current coach Chell, is getting it right. Let's just hope that this is not initial gra-gra, but that everything proceeds perfectly and that the Super Eagles again is able to reignite to the maximum the interests of Nigeria when it comes to supporting the national team. You do know that our supporters club is also one of the most vibrant. Gosh, I do hope that we get to see them perform again, in one of these matches. Well, let's take a look at more tweets regarding this one, shall we? So, Sports Radio Brilliant FM says, which is actually a sports radio, like it said, Nigerian and international artist Wizkid endorses the new Super Eagles team, Machala FC. Do you agree on this? And then you see just way at the bottom there, the tweet by Wizkid himself saying that new Super Eagles team, love the energy. I'm loving it too. Love it. We wish them all the best, all the way. And it's a wrap on that particular hashtag, as well as this episode of Hashtag for today. Right? So this is where I get to say a big thanks to Alex and everyone who contributed to making the show a success. Maximum respect. But the bigger thanks goes to you for watching. Without you, I won't be doing this. So let's keep this thing going, yeah? Until I come your way again, I am Vivian. Bye.
and the maritime sector. Join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOTV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Are you ready to connect with distinguished Nigerians around the world? The Diaspora Perspective is here to share the views of Nigerians in the diaspora on burning issues.
From the street of New York, the royal cities of London, and the bustling cities of Europe, Voice of the People Television brings to you a roundtable and collage of interesting views from Nigerians in diaspora.
Join the host of the show and some Nigerians in diaspora, Dr. Damages, the flagship, Show, and KJ, as they discuss the experiences, challenges, and triumphs of Nigerians living abroad.
Discussing and analyzing everything from politics, culture, policy, career success, and how Nigerians are staying connected to their roots. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. West African Time and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
The Diaspora Perspective, given a voice